Ano wala. Yeah. I'm so. Oh, me. Oof. Oof, oof. Huff, huff. Hup, yup, yup. Awa. Asterisk. Asterisk, you're not going to bed. What's your time zone? What are you doing here? Hello. Hello. Oh shit. I lost her. Okay. I do not know. But now I be knowing. Oh, you have the 12 p.m. buff. Hell yeah. You got the ghost wow. You got the translucent wow. Good job. That's a good wow. Ooh, aren't you like in Canada? Yep. Yeah. I got some people from the Philippines who watch me every so often. I have some people from Chile, and they're also not in the same time zone as you, but it's the same like time difference. I'm Singaporean now. Well, now I know that Singapore is also 12-hour difference. So many 12-hour difference people. Getting all of the Eastern audience. Let me tell you. Onwa tired. I actually don't feel as bad as I thought I would. Like physically, I don't feel as bad because I went. Because remember, the stream with Himi for me ended at 1:30 a.m. and then I had to wake up at 7:30 a.m. for the stream. So I had like 6 hours of sleep. But honestly, the quality of the sleep was so good that like it's not the worst. Do I wish I could have gotten more sleep? Yes, but it's not that bad. Also, do I have that rasp? Do I have that morning voice rasp where like everyone's like, "Damn, Shuddy, looking snazzy with that, with that." Yeah. Do I sound hot? I sound cool. No, not the head. The heads, no. It's the worst moves. Low key. What about the high key? Might fall asleep. Because of my voice or just because you're tired? Which one? Who's your character? Both. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Voice too good. It's very hard. Oh. That's so cute. That's a cute emote. Yeah, so I didn't know what to do today. I listened to the YouTube vid you posted every day. Wait a minute. My wake up alarm? You actually? Do you actually listen to my wake up alarm? Why? Why though? I'm Wawa for life. Let's go. This is the convert. I had an idea to Wait, today's Saturday, right? Hold on. A video's supposed to go out today. No? Hold up. But yesterday. A video was supposed to go out yesterday, but it didn't. Also, yes, I keep forgetting to turn on my caption. Whoops. Where? September 20th. Oh, it's coming out today. I messed up. It was supposed to come out yesterday. Whoops. Did I mess up? No, okay, I'm just messing up my time. No, yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. It's coming out today. Okay. For some reason, I thought yesterday was Saturday. Yesterday was Friday, and it was Saturday today. Well, if you like it, if you like the Wawa audio, I guess I had an idea. I'll have to like spend some time like pondering the orb for this idea. You know, writing down some stuff. It was amazing. If you say so. Whatever you say. I'm not gonna stop. Yeah, but I had an idea. Wawa for life. Wawa for life. I had BF ASMR one. Maybe. I wouldn't. BF ASMR, the boyfriend experience thing. I think that's like a thing I should have in the future. Like after I've made more audio stuff and like I have a bigger following, then I could like make it as like a sub goal kind of thing, you know? I'll make it like as if a community goal. If you reach the community goal, then I'll do it, you know? Or if I do like a subathon, that'll be one of the goals, boyfriend ASMR. I don't think I'm gonna do it like often. If I do though. Unless I become a Twitch partner and then I make a Patreon. And on the Patreon I put that. You have to follow my Patreon to get the boyfriend experience. I honestly don't mind making the audios. While I do find that the wakes you up audio that I did is like somewhat cringe. Listening to it is pretty cringe, right? I do really enjoy the process of making an audio. Like scripting and then recording and editing, I find that fun. It's actually pretty fun. I didn't think I would have fun doing that. But then listening back to it afterwards, that's kind of cringe. Like, at least for what I was like, if you're doing like, so like if you're doing it for like a cute or like boyfriend experience, or like just like stuff like that, like listening back to a wake up ASMR is cringe. If I had to like make one that was like didn't have to do with that, just like super dumb, like voice acting kind of stuff, it probably wouldn't be as cringe. It'd probably still be cringe to listen back to, but I wouldn't cringe as much. I don't methinks. Yeah. Methinks so. But I did have an idea. Because I did have fun doing it. I had an idea of doing more audios. Maybe not necessarily ASMR. But like, yeah, just audio things. And I like wanted like here was my idea. My idea was like maybe like every month or so, do the boyfriend gets run over by a car on call with you. The thing is, I don't want to get that NDA, not the NDA. I don't want to get a cease and desist from the original creator. You know, come on, I gotta make some original stuff here. Come on. But I did have a list of like audios that I came up with friends. Some audio. Hold on, let me get it. Where like every month or so, I would make an audio, but the audios wouldn't be boyfriend experience or like what else do people make, like regular ASMR, like noises. Instead, it would be stuff like a royal guard is coming to save his king from a collapsing empire audio. So I'm just, you hear like noises of like armor like walking, and then a door busting open. Sire, we must get you out of the capital. We must gather you. Gathered your. We must gather your children and get out before it's too late. Smash? What? What are you smashing? Smashing the Empire? Maybe. Maybe we're running away from you. Who knows? Yeah, but that was my idea. It's just like, or like maybe like an audio where a goblin breaks into your house and steals your trinkets. Okay, I just woke up. I don't want to check. I don't want to do a posture check. I just woke up. Okay, hold on. I'm like in my gremlin mode right now, okay? Don't tell me to do my posture check until I've had my coffee. Okay. Hydrate. Gremlin mode is so real. That's the idea. The idea is it would be some weird unhinged audio every month, and that's what I play, and that's what I post on my YouTube until I could get like maybe an editor to make videos of my streams. Yeah. And right now it's just gonna be like, the idea is shorts every week of clips, and then I have videos every month of audio stuff. And then once I get big enough where I'm like, I can make some money, like I have a live 2D and I could spend some money, then I'll like get an editor every so often to do stuff. Yeah, but I feel like the audios would be so funny. Like, just do completely unhinged audios, like an audio where you have a pizza delivery guy, right? Sorry, where I get a pizza delivered to me, but it's the wrong order, so I have to call up the pizza place and tell them it's the wrong order, and I start getting into an argument with the guy on the phone. But like, you don't really hear the guy on the phone, you just hear me complaining, right? It's like, no, I know that I ordered a pizza, but this is the wrong pizza. There's anchovies on this. I fucking hate who the fuck gets anchovies on their pizza? It's like somewhat muffled though, like I'm like in the next room. Oh my god. Yes, I want a new pizza. Why the fuck should I have to pay for the new pizza? It's the wrong pizza. I didn't order this. I want my money back. Okay, if you're not gonna give me a new pizza. I know, true. That's the idea. That's what I want to do. I think it'd be very funny. I think it'd be really, really funny. Yeah. So the idea for today. At first, I had no clue what I was gonna do. At first, I was just young man. I know, Chow. Half asleep. Good night. Sleep well after risk. Got him. Still singing. Yo, hi, I know Chua. So the idea for today's stream, I didn't really have like anything specific at first, right? I was just a young man. My father took me into the city. I too, EP. How about you, Sleepy? Got him. Your red Wawa out here showing off to all the kids. But Sir Wa, if you could have one emote, what would it be? One emote. If I could have one. What's an emote that a lot of people have? Huh. What is one very funny emote? What is one very funny emote? Don't worry about me. I'm totally not opening up people's streams to look at their emotes. so I could choose from their list. 100% not. Don't worry, I'm totally not opening up multiple people's streams right now to look at emotes for inspiration. Maybe a heart emote. A lot of people. Nah, you didn't hear shit. You didn't hear shit. Maybe a heart emote or a raid emote. Maybe a raid emote. Or a heart. Maybe. IDK. IDK, I'm still opening up streams. I mean, no, I'm not. Oh, Mega Bunny. I'm simply doing regular, everyday on with things. You know me, 100% not doing what you think I'm doing. Nothing. Well, that's what I'd say. Probably one of those two. I don't know. I don't know. I probably should think about it. I probably should think about stuff like this. Ugh. Yeah. Missed the second one. A raid emote. A heart emote or a raid emote. Like, you know when you raid into someone and you have like you with a sign that says raid. You know what I'm talking about? Know what I'm talking about? I know what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? So I have a vision. I didn't really even know what to do today, right? Like at all. And I was like, oh, maybe I could just yap. Like no one's gonna come here, but like yeah, I gotta train my talk yap skills. I don't yap. I don't do the good yet. I need to get the good engaging yap. So I thought something I could do is talk. But then I saw a post on Twitter talking about gacha. Like there should be more gachas that like teach stuff in a fun way, like math or coding and conversational French. Those are the those are the three things they said. And I was like, a lot of people are bad at math and do want to be better at math. But math is so boring. Like traditionally, math is boring. So at least like the whole like x plus y stuff equals 3. That's boring for people. So I need to think. You gotta think about this. So I was like, oh, maybe I could yap about that. Maybe maybe I could yap about, like, I bring up paint, and we draw up some ideas. We try to make math fun, but in a gacha way, which is like so hard. How do you make? Because the hard thing is that you have to have a balance between an actual fun factor of it and then the math factor. But the thing is, a lot of people do math on a regular basis without realizing it. A lot of people do, and they just don't realize they're doing that. Right? Like in gacha, for example, like you could look at something like how much money you would need to get the amount of crystals you require to do a pull. If you want to do a 10 pull, right? You look at the amount of crystals you have, the amount of crystals you need, and you're like, darn, okay, I need like 20 more. Like people do that a lot. They do that often. But that's not part of, like, you need to do like some active math. I don't know what people want to learn in math. Now, you have people who this is very dusty. I should dust my room more often. Yeah, so people, they do math a lot. But I assume people want to be better at the math, right? Like they want to be able to perform simple or like slightly more complicated, not like super complicated, like stuff like high school level, like, or like late high school level to like early college. But I doubt college part. Really depends on what you learn. They want to be better at simple math, right? Like be able to do calculations in their head more easily without needing a calculator. Sure, you could have a calculator, but like, isn't it cool to like be able to just say that you know what 2 + 3 equals without looking it up? You look smart, and people like looking smart occasionally. Not all the time. Cringe. Looking all the time, cringe. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that is the thing. You must think with your mind. You gotta give most gacha, or at least, yeah, most gacha, every gacha is the gameplay, right, is somewhat AFK. Somewhat. It's not hard. You don't want to give them hard. It's not challenge. Because the whole point is you want to keep them on the phone as long as possible. You have a lot of visual. A lot of visual. You build a party with your nice wife. And when you go into the game, wife isn't good fun. When you go into the game, right? You actually play. Disregarding like Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, and Zenless Zone Zero. Very bare bones kind of thing. Like there's not a lot going on, and it's very fat. Like you're not really doing much. A lot of it is gonna go by without you really having to like press many buttons or having to like worry too much about stuff like levels. You go through it. Eventually, you might hit a roadblock, right? And then you'll have to spend money and go back and get the levels of the previous levels by just redoing it. But yeah, that's like you have just a simple tower defense. Most of them is just like grid combat or like turn-based combat, where you just say what all your players. You just attack and like, or maybe use a super. Like they just attack. There's not really much else to do, you know, until someone goes down. And Genshin Impact, it's basically the same. It's slightly more because it's open world, but like the combat the combat's a bit more involved. But, like it's still the same thing where nothing's really too hard. The games are not meant to be really hard. But when you have math is hard in general. Many people cannot math. They just can't. Many people are not good at the math. So it's hard to make a game, like a gotcha game, to teach them. When the only thing that like really lets you keep playing gotcha is the fact that it's easy. You know? The idea of the gotcha is that it's you feel a sense of accomplishment from doing these things, from winning the battle, from getting your 5-star pull. But if you do a 5-star pull and then you play the game and you could still get it wrong and it's still not easy because you're not that good at math, well then like there's not much a person can do, you know. So it's really about, I think it's about refactoring math, like making it look in a way where it's not hard, like not hard to like understand the concept. And you might not even realize you're doing math, maybe. I don't know, like it's more like teaching concept than making you write down, right? That's the main about teaching math in a fun way. But then you have to like, people are not going to be able to like understand when you make it look like. But math is. Let's pull up paint. Start writing down something. Give me the pirate software look, please. Thank you. I need that pirate software look. Be authentic. Where is my... Boop. I'm too big. I am too big. Zoom. Boop. Boop. Okay. I'm a little too big. I want it to look like this. My notepad's still here. Yeah. Big. Okay. So the thing with math, right, is we don't want it. Thing is, math typically, right? So we have the addition, minus. We have the addition, we have the minus, we have the multiplication, and we have the division. I don't have the division thing, so we're just going to use the slash. So we have these, right? And a lot of people who... The target audience, right? Target audience. People who like anime and are bad at math. So basically just people who like anime, right? So people who are typically bad at math, right, is they are not good at even the basic fundamentals. They could most likely understand the basic fundamentals, right? These are the basic fundamentals, by the way. These guys, they could typically understand these, right? Like, they may, at least with division, they might not remember how to do it because division is just horseshit, right? Like doing it by hand. But they may be able... Addition and subtraction, that's like a daily thing. You understand these concepts. How to do basic math. Like if I say 2 plus 3, the person who's bad at math, they may not... They know how to do it. It may take them a while. You know? It may take them a while to say what 5 is. Right? Because it's 5. They might even get it wrong. And most of the time, the people who get these wrong, the reason is they are scared of looking stupid. So then, instead of trying to calculate it in their head and like taking too long to do it, you know, because they're scared they're gonna be like ridiculed for taking too long. Even if they don't like actively think that, that's like the back of their head is like, I need to give it fast. Because whenever you're in school, you gotta give it fast, you know? Like they don't care about if it takes you a bit, even if you just learn the concept. Right? So for them, the idea is that they'll give it to you but wrong. Because they'd rather... Because if they get it right, then they're fine. And if they get it wrong, then they would have gotten it wrong anyway, right? And now they think themselves stupid, and it's a terrible thing. But the thing is, most people know how to do addition. They just don't. They're like impatient with doing it. Okay, so the problem is, most people they know how to do addition, how to add, and subtract. I can't like say for sure. People know how to subtract, but like some people get a little bit worked up when it's like something like this. They're like, I think it's like I think it's like -3 or like +3. You know, some people think that. So I think there's something there where a lot of ways that people could look at this or like think about this is they could think about it like a line, right? Where you have segments on a line. Go a bit faster. It doesn't really matter. Like this is usually how people are taught. It's not the case. People could be taught like this, where you could have, if you have something like this, -1 minus 2, right? We could show them this on the map, right? Or like when they're playing the game, you could have this at the bottom of the screen, right? It's at the bottom of your screen, and you'll just like see stuff move. So you'll see like -1, and you'll see like a -2 pop up on the screen, and that'll make it go boom, boom. It'll make it move 2 back, and that could like show people, like it's like an intuitive way to show them how adding and subtracting works. I'm not sure what this would be used for, but it's a possibility. But adding and subtracting is just like that's like the stuff you could assume people want. It also might be good to look at how math is taught today, because it's different. New math is taught very differently from how I was taught, or how most people have been taught math. Very different. Yeah, like they use like models. Strange. But yeah, so adding subtracting is good. I think. I think it's just about having like we should have moments where I don't know if like we should. I'm not sure how much prompting. Like, I don't want to have people write down, like have their keyboard show up every time they're in a fight to write something down. So unless we have like I think like this, where like maybe you could like drag something, like drag it, like say the number 4, or like have some numbers like that you could press to turn on. But this is basically, these are fine. Multiplication is where it gets a bit more difficult. Same issue. The main issue with math that people have is impatience. And the impatience is usually because they don't want to look dumb. Is usually what problem. So with multiplication, it's like adding, right? So we could make it look like an array of numbers. Or like if I have like 5 times 4, then I could show the user, like maybe I could like have like an option to be like refactor, which will then change it into, instead of it saying 5 times 4, it'll say like 5 times 2 times 2. Right? And this is kind of easier because then you could just be like, okay, 5 times 2 is 10, and then times 2, and then 20. Right? So we could do something like that, where we have I feel like a refactor option would be very helpful to people, because this is usually what I do in my head. This is what a lot of people do in their head, is that if something is too big, right? If you don't know the answer immediately, right? Because you don't remember the times table, or it's because the numbers are just too big, then what you should do is you should refactor. A lot of people don't know. They don't know all of the intricacies of it. Like, people don't understand that 5 times 4 is the same as 4 times 5. Like, a lot of people, like, they know that, but they don't use it. Because if I have like I don't know, what's a good number. If I have like 12, no, if I have like 8, whoa, if I have like 8 times 5, no, 5 times 8. If I have 5 times 8, right? A lot of people, in their mind, they will start adding 5 together, right? They'll go like, okay, 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. They might not do it like that, right? They might go like 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. They might do that, right? But if you realize that you could switch it around, 8 times 5, well, that's easy, you know? That instead of doing it, maybe for this example, it's not good. I could change it to 6, right? Well, that's easy, right? Because then instead of doing 6 plus 6, like 8 times, instead I just have to do 8 plus 8 6 times instead of 8 times. Right? Sometimes the amount of calculation. So you could just reduce the amount of calculation. And then once again, you could just do 8 times 2, 2 times 3, and then you just do 16 instead. And you could just add these together, and then you just add these together, and that's That's how you should do it. So I feel like a refactor mode would be very helpful. The way to reframe the problem. You want to be able to reframe problems for people. Okay. Well, yeah, that's multiplication. Multiplication is when you have a refactor, and then you need to be able to teach people that A times B is equal to B times A, and all these things. Um, and division's like a weird child, like a weird way to. It's just weird overall. I think it should be kind of like elementary in a way. I shouldn't force someone in a game. I shouldn't force them to remember how to make a decimal. They should know at the very least. At the very least, like if it's like 5 divided by 3, I shouldn't tell them I shouldn't tell them to go, okay, go 1 point, blah, 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 I should tell them, okay, they should be able to tell me what the number, the whole number, and what the remainder is. That's what they should be able to tell me. At the very least, that's what they should be able to tell me. And they should also know how to reduce a fraction. Like if it's 2 over 4, they should be able to tell me 1 over 2. But the way they should be able to tell me isn't necessarily by telling me like what the number is, because the game itself will have like a calculator thing to do some of the math for you, and you could turn that off, I guess, if you want. But it should be more so about you should know how to do certain things, and then at the earlier stages, I guess that's when, like if you're, I don't know, because if it should be, I'm not sure how much you should be taught. I'm not sure if it should, and I'm not sure how to turn it all into like a fun thing. For me, math is more about concepts. If you understand concepts and you're more patient with yourself, then it's more about you have to just like do the math. Right? You just have to do it and like be rewarded for it. And not be like punished for getting it wrong. Right? It should be, if you're wrong, it's not you're dumb, you're an idiot, here's a 0%. It should be you did get it wrong, so let me show you where you went wrong, so that next time you know how to do it. And then now that you know better how to do it, now stuff is gonna be better. It's gonna go more breeze. So it's breeze now. That's right. That's the division. Division is all done. I don't know. It's a weird thing because it depends how far we want to go, because you have the basics, which people should know. You have variables, right? Like x plus 2 equals 3. And then you have like multiple variables, right? And you have graph. And you have integrals and derivatives. Like, it could go crazy. There's so much math. There's shapes. People like shapes, like area, perimeter, circumference, etc. Usually the stuff people like to a certain extent is shape and just regular addition minus. Like, that stuff's cool. I think most people can agree stuff's cool, but at a certain point, right? Sometimes it's not the same for everyone. But the main thing is there's a certain point where people in math will get stuck. They just won't understand what the concept is. But mathematics in class is dependent on everything you learned before. So if you get stuck there, then you'll get stuck for basically the rest of the time you're doing math. And that sucks. It really sucks. Yeah. So I'm not sure what or how people should be taught mathematics in a gacha game. Like, what is the loop? You know, what is? Because I assume this would be like a mobile game. God damn, I am. My horizontal lines are fucking fire. They are amazing. Like, what would be the loop? What is the? It should be gameplay that is able to be like redone over and over. You should be able to be getting better at doing some math. Right? I think the main thing should be somewhat simple stuff, right? Learning to divide, maybe not divide, but like learning to multiply, add, and subtract, getting better at that. That's like the core. You know, once you're better at the core, the rest is just concept, right? You use a calculator for the rest of time. Once you understand how to do plus, minus, and all that, right? And you know, like, quadratic formula, right? I mean, even then, once you get to the quadratic formula, you usually can have a calculator. It's very much the beginning of math, right? When you start math, you have no calculator. Right? This is plus, minus, times, division, no calculator. Right? And later, you'll learn about variables, you know, like x, y, and all that. Here, at the start, you're not going to use, right? Because you're learning the concept of it. You're understanding how to get through it. This is where a lot of people get stuck. A lot of people get stuck right here. And then later on, you also get like graphs and stuff, right? Like graphs. Here, you might use calculators, you might not. It really depends. It really depends. But like graphs, I mean, like the grid, like X, Y here, you know. It was like, woo, you know, those things. Here you might not. Probably not, but like you wouldn't be, at least not like in later. Like, you wouldn't be penalized. You're really only penalized like here for using calculator. Unless like it's your first time learning it, then you might get penalized here. But at a certain point, you get into the hard stuff, the quadratic formulas, you know, and like all that. And I also forgot to say there's like shape. Shape. The thing is, so it could also like it could depend. Like these are like not, the timeline can vary. You know, you don't always have to learn the same thing in the same order. Some people it's different. It's like quadratic, and then off to infinity. Right? I'd say up to here. And this is by x and y, right? I'm talking about very simple stuff. I'm not talking about like x squared minus 2x plus 3 equals like 0, right? I'm not talking about this. Okay, what I'm talking about is I'm talking about the simple like x, like 3x equals equals 1. I'm talking about this. Okay, I'm talking about uh, x plus 4 equals minus x. Okay, I'm talking about that, which might look hard to some people, right? But there's a reason why this doesn't need a calculator, why you shouldn't have to use a calculator. Right? There's a reason for it. Okay, so I think you should be given this stuff. This stuff should be given to you. Okay, you should have to perform this in the game. But after this point, right? After we get past this, and we get to this, and we get to like shapes. Sometimes for some shapes you don't have a calculator, but like it's not the worst thing in the world to have a calculator. But in the game you might not. But like, yeah. So you have these things, right? And in the graphs, and harder graphs, it's okay to have. When you learn the harder graphs, it's okay to have it, like stuff like this, where it's like not just a straight line, like where it goes fucking Whoopi, Whoopi Goldberg. There, you'll be allowed to use a calculator, and if you're allowed to use a calculator with those graphs, then you're allowed to use a calculator with the smaller graphs, because your calculations are becoming more complex. So it's like we don't want to overwhelm you. You might as well use a calculator. But apart from those, everything else, stuff like this, and harder, where you'll have like stuff like this. You guys probably do not know what the fuck this is. At this point, these things, you need calculation, and you'll have a calculator. Once you get past high school, you're guaranteed to use a calculator, right? You don't always have to, because a lot of stuff can happen by hand. But for me, I think the concepts are more important than being able to do the calculation. Like it's cool when someone can like calculate like a huge like big ass, like if I could calculate what the area of this was by hand. Cool. Like that's awesome. But it's not really useful to me, But if you want me to like calculate the amount of tax I'll take by buying like a $20 t-shirt plus like $15 pants, on 15% tax, and then I also have a 20% discount. That, even if you're not super accurate, you should be able to like try and do that in your head, which is hard. At first, it's super hard, but like it can be done. There are cheats. There are ways. I call them cheats, but like it's just math. There are ways to do this fast. So I think stuff like concepts you have to do. Doing plus, minus, multiplication, division, you should be having to do that. Stuff like this, you should be having to like tell me what the order of operations is to find out how to do this. Okay, like you should be able to tell me that you have to divide by 3 on both sides in some kind of gamey way, and then I'll show you that this does that, right? The game will like just remove this and then show you that x is equal to that, right? But the difference is that instead of x, we'll maybe have like three boobas or something. I don't know. I don't know, IDK. And then yeah, and you should be able to tell me that we need to get the x's together. Right? And this will just happen. you'll have to say divide by 2. Yeah. I feel like, but there should also probably be a way to. I don't want it to be. I want it to be so you have like a chance to learn how to do calculations better and like do it in your head, and then also to learn some new math, or maybe some math that you forgot. It's really hard to know what thing is because I don't know. Like your gotchas, right? Your hot female women or hot men. They should be able to help you in a way. Or they should give you access to certain things. Kind of deal where like the chapters, right? Like let's see, these are different chapters would teach you different concepts, right? And get like more difficult, and basically more difficult as you go along, you know. So like at the start, you would learn subtraction and addition, right? And then when you get to chapter 2, then you would learn multiplication and division. And when you got to chapter 3, this is where you would learn variables. And then after that, you could learn stuff like shapes, right? Like maybe just perimeters specifically. I'm not gonna write all of them, unless I in a very bad way. Yeah, so then that'd be perimeters, and then so on and so forth. That'd be the chapter. But then you have to have a way for combat to like. You have to have a way that, for combat to be able to like have all these things work together. Like I don't want it to be like you come into the combat. I don't want to be that you walk into combat. You have your anime husbando 1, anime husbando 2, and anime waifu 1. I don't want it to be this, and then just like here's an equation. Like here's an equation. Good luck solving it. Like I don't want to do that, you know. Like that would suck. That's not good. That's not good fun. Right, but you need to have a way to lose and you need to have a way to win. And I feel like it should be better to. The better way to do it is to like trick you into doing math. Right? I should trick you into doing math. I shouldn't give you just this equation and then you have to solve it. Because that's boring. That's I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to bust out my calculator. I gotta give you a way to do it. So instead of this, we have to refactor the problem to, instead of being numbers and stuff. Well, maybe not numbers, but instead of being like variables like this, it has to be like something visual. It has to be a visual way of representing something. Like instead of X, you would have like a waifu, right? Like a drawing of a waifu. And so then instead of doing something like this, right? So like X waifu, I'm just gonna keep that there. And instead of having a waifu, you would have like an X. You you would have like your like maybe a turn-based combat kind of thing. Maybe where you would have two waifus, so 2x, and it would just be like two people. Right? And then +3. I don't know what that would be. Like maybe +4. Like 2x +4 equal to 0, and you have to find x. But I don't know how the problem would look. Like you have two waifus, cool, but now what's a constant? What's a constant thing? Or it could be I had like this dumb idea where it would be where something like this would be like their bust size. You just have like big titty anime woman, right? And then amazing drawing, by the way. And then it's just like, well, she has a varying boob size, so that's X. The variable is like for this woman, I don't know, it's like 2. That's dumb. Oh, it's so dumb. Or like maybe variables are like a constant, right, is a number. What constant means is a number. And I thought of having give me a second. A constant is a number. And I had the idea of having numbers being represented by anime, right? But what I'm scared of is maybe not scared of, but what I'm like unsure of is if we want to represent an equation in an amount of people, right? Then I would have like, if I want to have a bigger equation, right, let's say I want to have like 9x plus 7 equals 5. Then what you would first do here is you would do 9x. You would put the 7 to the other side, so 5 minus 7. Then that equals to -2. Right? But that means that if I had it as numbers, if I had the numbers as people, then they would turn. Then all of the numbers would turn into each other. Like all the anime people would turn into other anime people for the equation. Which kind of like sucks. Because it makes it harder to understand. In that aspect, it's hard to understand what the fuck is happening. No clue at all. Also, is this more like, is there a category that's better than this? Software and game development? Does that count? Does kind of thinking of a fake game that will never come to light count as software and game development? I feel like actually I have to be coding for that, you know? Which I'm not doing. I'm not coding this. At the very least not today. What about makers and crafting? You count makers and crafting. So hard to tell. I don't know what is correct. I don't get this stuff. Magazine crafting is like IRL. What's theory crafting, you know? I'm unsure. Yeah, so that's the problem with the numbers. Because I had an idea of something like this, right? A representation of the equation. Right, let's say like this person here is like a 2. Right? Or like I guess it's like a 4. So then you have like a 4 waifu, and then you have a bunch of these, you know? And then what you could do is you could be like, well, I'll use my division girl with my 2 girl. Together, they'll divide the equation by 2. So then what happens is one of these gets deleted. Right, one of these is just out of here. It's erased from the annals of history. Yeah. Right, and then this gets turned into a 2. So then it becomes a new anime girl, which that sucks. I don't want it to be a new anime girl. And then this gets reduced. So then the combat you would have to do is easier. Instead of having to deal with all these people, you only have to deal with like a 2x plus 4. I will now you divide it by 2 on every side. So now this becomes 1x plus 2, or just x. Right? You don't have to write that. So it just becomes x plus 2 because you divide it by 2, which is great. That's perfect. And then we would want to find -2. So, yeah. It's weird. It's a weird thing. I mean, instead, what we could probably do is we'll have variables. We'll have variable girls, so the girls will be variable. Right? And variables can be anything. We'll just have different variables as waifus. Constants won't be a waifu. They'll just be constants. So this will be like waifu. We have like a couple waifus X. We have a couple waifus Y. You know? And they're on opposite sides. So this will be the negative side. This will be the positive side. So sometimes you might be on the negative side. Sometimes you might be on the positive side of the map. Okay. You seen the vision? So then that would mean, well, I guess not like it's not the negative side or the positive side. It's more like just you have the left side and you have the right side. Oh, my perfect down. There you go. So, then an equation could be represented like this. So, can I erase in a good way? there a way to make the brush bigger? Probably. Probably just. Let me just make this bigger. Cover your eyes. There you go. Okay, so then a combat encounter, right, would be. Oh my God, I'm so good. Let's make an example. Let's make another example like this. We'll just do the same example. Let's say we have this, right? Or I guess we'll make it simple. We'll make it even simpler. Just for sport. So we'll have two anime women here. Waifu, right? You have your gacha waifu here. So these are two X's. These are the X women. And then here you have another one. Right? And her power is known. This is another variable woman. They're all variable women. Okay, but this is known. This one's known. We know what she is. Now you have to solve the equation. Okay. So you could be like, you could use. This is the problem here. Now the idea is we need to find out. We need to find out how to like use waifus that you can get. How do you get waifus? You know, how do you get your waifus? Is the problem. The idea here is we would like divide by 2 somehow, and that would get rid of 1, and that would turn this 4 into a 2, right? And then now you know that this guy is equal to a 2. They have to be equal to a 2. So now you would be able to do something, I guess. Like now you either win or you could like throw them away. Like I don't know. Like make them fight each other. And this would be like the speed up of the combat because you could do a divide by 2 to make it easier. Or if you just know the answer, right? Because by this 2x equals 4. You could do it like physically. You could do the math, write it down. Right? And then you know that this equals 2. Or you could just do it in your head, right? In my head, I know that what I have to do, right? And I also know that, you know, I know this. So I could just say that it's 2. Right? So then that makes combat faster because if I just know the answer, combat's quick. I just go boom and they're 2. Or maybe instead we have if you have your people here, right? This is your side, you have all your people. I'm just gonna draw circles. Your peeps, right? And on the right side we would have the equation 2x plus 4. So then you would have the people here. And you would have like something here, maybe a representation of the equation. It's a hard thing. This is a hard battle. Yeah. How to do this? That is the question that I am asking. Does this count as game development? I guess this counts. Well, let's find out. Okay. Wow. All right. Let's. We gotta buckle down. We gotta figure this out. Come on. Where's all the IDs? Variables. It could also do them in straight. Originally, that's how stuff was taught. Through shape. That's how we got to it. Like 2x, like x squared comes from x plus y comes from like doing something like this where we know the area. 2x plus y equals 20 comes from an equilateral triangle. X, y. So there's stuff like this. Awesome. But that's when it gets tricky with negative numbers, because the reason why we got out of doing this and why we do it like this now is because of the possibility of negative area. Which doesn't exist. We had to stop doing this. So I'm scared of giving people the wrong impression. The thing is, there's a lot of math in video games, which if you take the time to do, you'll figure it out. If you play Fire Emblem, this is basically like we're trying not we're trying to avoid getting to Fire Emblem level, right? You want Fire Emblem, but easier and more like the map. Like you can't just press the button. It needs to be a puzzle. We need to turn it into a puzzle. People need to find X. We can't just make it a combat. But also we need to make it so your characters have a purpose. Characters need to have a purpose. So characters. That's why the idea of like characters have a variable. You know? Characters are variables. Or like are something that owns a variable maybe. And then just like having it be multiple a thing is equal to 2x. Right? Because we don't know what these guys' combined power is. But then this person, we know what their power is. It's this. Or maybe we could have... Maybe what we could have is... Don't mind me. I'm just trying to make a boop, boop. So what we could have also do this. Okay. Another thing we could have for both sides is have it in the middle, right? Where it's kind of weird to like look at it like this. Actually, I'll do it. Yeah, so the idea here is this is an equation. This is an equation. So the enemy is an equation that is, let's say again, we have these are x's, and then this is our known 4. This is our known variable 4. Now you could move your characters out and about wherever you want on your side. And that will give you like a certain power, or like it'll like change it. So, like this 4 fella can go here, and then they'll turn into a -4. You know, and these x's can go here, and they'll turn into -x's. These are -x. Okay. Right, so these are basically like equal signs, like an equals plane. I'm not sure what to do after, but then that would mean you're also an equation. Kind of sucks. Because I want it to be that I don't want it to be where like you're just this and then they're just that. Like you're like they're only variables and then your only equations, and or like your only operators, like your only division plus this is only x y, right? I want it to be so like you could have these guys as your own characters. The problem is that we want to teach math, so we want to teach. I guess because I'm probably just like too stuck up on the idea of combat. It doesn't have to be combat. But then what's like the lore? Like what's the goal of doing these math problems, you know? How do you teach? How do you make it? I think it's fair to not have numbers be a waifu, right? Like they're not characters. Variables can have variables as the characters, and the character variables can be a number that can change. It's tough. It's tough because you have to give stuff away to be able to show stuff in certain ways. Like in this example, right? Like how can I say that they're equal? You know, like it doesn't make sense. You want it to make sense. It has to be intuitive, and this isn't intuitive. This isn't intuitive. It's not. Not a good explanation. How do you make it intuitive? How do you include anime? What sort of problems do you want to solve? How can we do this? Let God come down. Let him please tell me. Just give me the answer. Come on. Come on. Yeah, because you need to make it easy to understand and to perform, but also you have to be able to give them a challenge at some point. Because if you're trying to teach stuff, like Gotcha doesn't really teach you stuff. What about this? What about this? Let me erase all this stuff. Okay, I guess God won't allow me to erase anything. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. Boop. What about this? I always forget that. What about this? Okay. You have your waifus, right? Right? They're variables. Okay. And then you're given a number, You're given an enemy variable, and they're a number that you know. Let's say 9. What you have to do is you have to tell me. You have to make your numbers add up to this number to defeat him. Like maybe you could only do damage when you're that number. So here it's 9, so you'd have to make this one equal to 4 and this one equal to 5. And then now that adds up to 9, so now you can attack, or maybe you win. Okay? And then you could have another guy who is like a shield guy. Right? Let's say like this is let's say he has like a shield. I don't know how to draw a shield. Let's say that's a shield. And they say, and their number is 5. Or like 6. No, 5. Right? What that means is that they're protecting this, which means you have to add up to 9, but it can't be 5. You have to be like, okay, well then this person will be 6, this person will be 3. And now that it's up to 9 again, so now you can attack. Maybe. There's like something there, but I feel like it's missing a lot. Now we need to find out how to add other stuff. We need to add other stuff. And also, this is like too simple. This math is like too simple. That's why we need to make it grow. Like this is the basic. This is like a basic idea, very basic. Like maybe we need. Like maybe this is like an ad woman. Maybe this is like there's like an ad woman. Also, they're like, was this? Instead, I don't know. I don't know for sure. I think this is a good basic concept. We need expansion on this. Add. Okay, I'm gonna write down add, minus, multiply, right? Divide. There's also exponents, right? There's exponent stuff. And there's also bracket. We need to be able to include all of this stuff. I feel like you need to be able to change the numbers of your girls. But you also have to be able to lose them. And also, I don't want to force you into in missions. You have to be able to just be able to go into a mission. You know? You should be able to just go into a mission. Like you shouldn't need a certain character to go into a mission. That should never be a requirement. Unless it's maybe like an amount of them that you need. I say waifu. Me bad's me thing. This is a good, like, very simple concept. But we need to be able to spice it up. And also add some challenge. Like a boss thing. Right? But a boss thing shouldn't just be maybe it's just like a boss. Maybe they just like the boss changes from multiplication to division or something. So then you have to like change your numbers frequently. And your party is equal to so that's just dealing damage, but you could only deal damage when your equation is equal. But that feels like such a cop out. It really does feel like just such a cop out. Like I wouldn't want that. Hmm. And how would I build on the equation? I need to have a way. Um, you have a way to like put stuff in brackets, like having stuff having to deal with beforehand. I guess just like having them ahead, so like moving this guy more back and then just having a guy in front. Then you have to deal with these guys in the front before you can deal with the guys in the back.
But then,
Because right now this equation would be x plus y is equal to 9, and then x, y are not equal to 5. That's what this equation would be. But I want to be able to have everything. I want to be able to like I want to be able to do stuff like this. Represent these kind of things. I have no idea what this is. I want to be able to like make bigger equations, like something that includes everything here. Could be I don't know. This is too hard, man. This is too hard for me. And too hard for everyone else, honestly. Like no one has ever really made a math game that is like fun. Hmm. Hmm. Um, I don't know. I do not know. Do not know. Da-da-da. It's a good idea. I feel like we need to find a way to expand it, but it's like really hard to expand. Maybe it's not it. The problem is that it is the main problem is that is gacha. Gacha and it's gacha and math, and they don't mix well. A coding idea is like very easy. Teaching a language is also kind of easy. Like you can do that. You can do a gacha for that. Probably. The main thing is implementing characters. How do you get more characters? How do you make those characters matter? You know? Maybe... No, that wouldn't work. I was gonna say maybe have the numbers... Maybe have the characters you get be allowed a certain numbers. Like, I can only turn into these numbers. You know? Oh, I can only turn into these numbers. But then the problem is that it doesn't allow you to solve every equation. Not every equation is solvable like that. Unless it's a thing of like subtraction again, where you're just subtracting or dividing or multiplying someone. I don't know. I don't know. This idea is courtesy of Project Melody, by the way. I didn't say that at the beginning. Probably should. I completely forgot who it was, to be fair. Ma'am. Mods ban the internet. Get it out of here. This is one idea, having a variable have access to certain numbers. Or like maybe just certain operators. You know? So when you go into a battle, it's like, okay, well, this person can allow me to do this, which is good for like this attack or doing this kind of thing. This is so hard. It's probably just my mindset. Like in reality, a game about learning, a gacha game about learning math won't sell a lot. You know, it won't be that big a sell. Not many people will want to care about it. Because it's not fun. Okay, it's not fun. It's very niche. Like too niche to be successful. It's a cool concept, but it's not in practice. I wouldn't. At least I can't make. I cannot make at all. Yeah. Um. I still want to think about it. I know there's a way. Like I'm so close after all the ideas I've given. Like I'm like there's something. You can see there's something here. It's just I need to crack. I need to crack the idea. Uh, Tell me the answer. I do not know. Eh, this battle is too hard fought for me. Someone such as I will never be able to figure it out. Unless they figure it out. I'm so close. I'm so close to figuring it out. I know I am. I know it to be true. And I think you do too. Because it wouldn't work with it. This system here. I feel like it's expandable, but it's also pretty restrictive. And it's like hard to really know what is happening. The main problem with this, okay, here's the main problem, is that there are many good ways that you can represent math, show math, but how do you make characters matter is the problem. Like, how can characters matter to the overall game? Like, you could restrict a party, right? Let's say you had a party of 2 to 4, right? That's like a max. I don't know what the max is, but like, let's say somewhere around there, right? What are characters? Characters are probably either going to be a mathematical concept, right? Like variables, right? Like you'll have an X girl, or you'll just have variable girl overall. Or they're going to be famous mathematicians. You know, most likely they're going to be famous mathematicians or people who have done a lot of work for the math world or something, right? Like you'll have Albert Einstein, maybe. You'll have Euler. You'll have Bernoulli, you know? Like you'll have these people as your character. Okay? But now, how do characters matter? No, in other games, it's like they have to matter a lot. Okay, like not really, because in regular gacha, right, usually it's turn-based combat. Okay, so they don't really matter which one you choose. It's more so for how they look. Okay, like there's technically some aspect that matters, right? Because there's elements, and some elements are stronger against others, right? So you'll have a grass character who's and a fire character, right? If you're up against a grass character, you want to choose a fire character for that map. But overall, it doesn't really matter, right? But there has to be a reason for you to want to have more characters or better characters. Okay? Like you have to have a reason to want the 5-star. Why do you want the 5-star? Okay. Is it because they look cool? Not really. It's because they're better. Just overall, they just do more damage. You know? Like they look cooler, sure. They're cooler. Like, they're more recognizable. Right, but this is the problem. Right? Is there is an advantage because 5 stars do so much more damage than a 1-star. Okay? They're gonna kill things way faster than a 1-star. Okay, so you want 5 stars. Okay, but why would you want a 5-star in a math game? What is the purpose for character? What like it's like I'm sure you're gonna have this game about math, right? And that's cool. But like, why would you want a character? Why do you need a character? They need to be able to like affect the game in some way. Right, that's right. This is cool. Like this is cool being able to use certain operators or use certain variables, use certain like constants, right? That's cool. That's useful. Because then that means you can have a 5-star who just has more numbers, right? And has more operators. Right? You could do that. But the problem is, how do you make a game? Because the game shouldn't. You should be able to play any mission with any character. Doesn't mean you'll win it, right? You'll probably die because your character fucking sucks. Right? Like it doesn't do enough damage. But you should still be able to deal damage, is the thing. You should be able to still deal the damage. Then how do you do that with math? How do you make it so you go into a mission with a bad math character and still be able to deal damage? You're not given a fall off, right? You're not given the number 0. Okay, you're not like it shouldn't be a thing where it's like, oh well, because you were missing of the variable X character, you can't win. Like no, that's stupid. That's fucking dumb. Okay, you should be just like, okay, well, my characters are either are like way too underleveled for this fight, or they're just not level 5. They're not a 5-star who like does a bunch of damage. Like that should be your cap. That should be the problem. That should be the thing stopping you. The thing stopping you should be just the fact that you're not like high leveled enough. You're like you don't know how to do the math. Okay? So, how do you make a game about learning math where the characters matter in like some aspect, but also you can still solve any problem? Like, do you really, when you play a gacha game, there's not really a moment where it's like, oh, well, you need this specific character for this, unless it's like a quest, right? Unless it's a character-specific quest, right? But that's like that's like side content typically. For main content, how do you have a game? How can you have a game where solving math? I don't get it. Test. That's how can we solve it? One idea would be that it is combat. You just have to solve an equation to be able to do the combat. Which kind of it sucks. That it's like a good it's like a it's like a cop out. I feel like that's an answer, sure, but like, come on, really answer the equation to do the fight? Like, come on. So we need something better, faster, stronger. What that is, I have no clue. We need it. We need it. Ay, ay, ay. I think it's just
Wanna steal all your kills? Oh, I'm begging.
I'm not gonna raid it. Okay. I'm gonna end stream. I'm way too big. Hello, small me. This is tough. Tough. Anyway, bye bye.